Hello and welcome to Kitchen Connect. Today I am going to cook my friend Lisa's Saag Paneer. So we're calling it Saag Paneer. I'll tell you why so that everyone knows what it is, but we're doing it a little bit differently. And as I explain all of this to you, it will all become obvious that it's a very, very delicious dish and you've got to make it. If you're not going to make it tonight, you've definitely got to make it over the weekend. So thank you, Lisa, for sharing this with us. It's really fantastic that you would do that. So thank you. No wonder I like you. You're so generous. So let's have a look at what we need to do first. So I've got some water on for the rice, and I always like to get the rice going fairly quickly so that it can definitely be cooked by the time you've cooked we're calling this a curry, okay? But by the time you've cooked the curry, and I'm using the basmati rice, the long grain fragrant rice. That you can buy in the Asian supermarkets. It's not available in the regular supermarkets. It is available in Asian supermarkets. And I'm just popping this into here. So if you're watching for the first time, my name's Tracy, and very big welcome to you. If you're back again as a regular watcher, you will have no doubt heard me talk about the basmati rice that we use here. So instead of using the other fragrant rice, which is a jasmine rice, which is very high in starch, I use this Indian basmati every time I use long grain rice because I just love it. It's partly boiled, parboiled, so you can see it's got quite a dark color. It's like a dark cream color, so it's parboiled, so it'll need about 15 minutes of simmering in twice the amount of water to rice. So today I've actually got a cup and a quarter of rice, and I've got 2.5 cups of water that was simmering in there to start off with. I'm using my beautiful Solid Technics pan again today. I just reach for this one every time I go and cook something like this. I always reach for this one. It's fantastic. In fact, I will tell you a bit of a funny story because you can cook on the lid as well with this. You can cook on the lid, and so I was showing off the other day. I thought I'll do a quick video with me holding onto the phone and cooking myself a fried egg for brekkie, and even though it's stainless steel, it's still the egg doesn't stick to it. So it's all about the temperature when you fry in pans like this. So the egg doesn't stick to it. So I was going, oh, look at this. Look how, slippery the egg is, and it's not stuck at all, this beautiful fried egg. And it actually went flipped flipped upside down on the stove. So I didn't post that one. But brilliant pans, absolutely brilliant pans. So if you want to know more about those, you can definitely get in touch with us. I've actually got 2 in stock now. They just arrived yesterday, so very exciting. So I'm going to leave that rice simmering for about 15 minutes. I've got it on 6. I think probably 5 is a good simmering temperature. So the first thing that I need to explain to you is that I've got to put on my sorry, I've got to do this because I've got bread in the oven, because you'll all be thrilled to know that we have filmed most of the sourdough course now, so that'll be coming up on the Cooks Collective very shortly. But I've got my real bread that is in the film in the oven. So the Saag Haloumi, very classic Indian dish made with lots of spinach. Usually it's just spinach and lots of ghee and spice and paneer. Now you can make your own paneer if you want to be really traditional. You can make your own paneer by basically making ricotta. So if you can make ricotta and press it in a little cheese basket or in a little sieve, you then get most of the water out of it, and you can actually cut it into cubes or just break it up into the spinachy mixture that you've got. And paneer is lovely. But it's very, it's quite bland. So it's a nice sort of soft, milky flavour, paneer. But my friend Lisa does hers with halloumi, and I just thought, wow, that's amazing, because I love halloumi cheese. So then if you've watched me before, you will know that if I fry anything, it's got to be dry. The nemesis of frying things is water, is moisture, or whether you barbecue it or whether you put something wet in a frying pan, it's just not gonna fry up very well. So we want to get this beautiful halloumi cheese. Oh gosh, and you can make halloumi as well. I know. Another lovely friend of mine, Colleen, from Charcoal Springs, she's got a milking cow because they live in Manjimup. Lucky. They've got a milking cow and she makes her own, halloumi. I've forgotten that I'd cut that bit. Her own halloumi from the milk from her milking cow. So I'm a little bit envious of that. I don't think our rear strata block in Bicton will put up with a milking cow. I think we might get a visit from the council. From the ranger. I do want chooks though. I definitely want chooks at some point in time. Did I say that out loud? I'm just like thinking. Yes, so the halloumi, dry the halloumi, cut it into cubes. And I always find if you've sort of rinsed the halloumi anyway, which I did do to this piece, not to this piece, but that brine, you take off quite a lot of that brine, so it takes away quite a lot of the saltiness, which is probably quite a good thing. So I'm now going to fry the halloumi in this beautiful big pan, the Solid Technics pan that I've got, because see how non-stick it is. Without a non-stick surface, this halloumi will fry up beautifully, and I won't have any problem with the halloumi sticking. So this is why we love these Solid Technics pans, is because this has got I'm just going to turn it down a bit because it's just, the pan just holds onto that heat. I've had that warming on the stove. I just love it. So the pan holds onto the heat. This is a 100% cast iron pan, but it's been seasoned. So you need to just season these once and just keep them seasoned. I won't go into it, but you just need to get them organized first, and then they will be the most gorgeous non-stick pans to cook with, and forever. So they're multi-generational pans because you can leave them to your children. There's nothing to break on them. There's no rivets or anything. Anyway, I'll stop going on about them, but it's like seeing a really good movie and then you have to go and tell all your friends about it. If you've really enjoyed it, you want your friends to enjoy it as well, don't you? So that's why I'm telling you it. Okay, so let's just get this. Gas is always a little bit tricky, isn't it? Because you think, just turn it down a bit, and then it goes down too low. Anyway, that's by the by. Okay, so we're frying this up beautifully, and you've got to be a bit careful that you don't keep sort of trying the cheese to check that it's not gone off in the pan. Because it's so delicious, isn't it? And whenever you fry halloumi, you sort of go, I'll just have one, or I'll just have another one. So just be careful of that. It's definitely needs turning up now. All right. So I am cooking with with some light extra virgin olive oil. So I'm using the Cobram light extra virgin olive oil, better for you, better for your body than using a vegetable oil. And that's what I would be suggesting, to use a vegetable oil to cook halloumi. I think if you, you could use ghee. I'm just sort of thinking of, you've got this much halloumi for 4 people, which is like 2 packets. Do you really want to have butter in there as well? That's completely up to you, no judgment. But I just get a little bit worried about the fat content of having, and the animal fat content of you having butter and halloumi in this. But you can definitely use this lovely light extra virgin olive oil. Basically, because I don't want a really big olive flavour in here. Would you be putting olives in the curry? Probably not. So I think that having a light olive oil, that you've got that goodness in the olive oil, but you're also not adding a whole heap of olive flavour to the curry. Now, if you're watching me live, if you've got any questions at all as we go through, I do have the cameraman with me. You should also know that by now.
Good afternoon.
Yes, he is there. And so please type in the chat, or if you're on Facebook, you could try and type in the comments. I think we're live streaming to a few different Facebook pages today. So welcome to everybody from everywhere. I think that's probably the easiest thing to say. We have a question.
So just a hello from Millie, Sally, Jan, and Tracy.
Oh, you girls are just so lovely, aren't you? Hello, everyone. Love you. Okay, so you'll love this, you girls. I know you'll all cook it. So I'm going to chop up a couple of onions as well while the halloumi's just finishing off frying. And when I say a couple of onions, I've been so used to massive onions in the in our beautiful fruit and veggie boxes that I've had to go 1.5 onions in here. Because this is meant to be a side dish, I've just bulked it out a little bit more to become a main course. And an onion is onions are vegetables as well, after all, aren't they? Look at that. I just can't stop playing with my cheese, tumbling it in the pan. How lovely is that? So I'm going to be cutting up about 1.5 onions. I do want a good 2 to 250 grams of onions in here. It does obviously give a very fantastic flavour. Cheese and onion always goes really well together. So I want to make sure that one sort of medium onion just doesn't quite, it's just not quite enough. So remember to leave the root on the onion, peel off the skin, cut it in half, peel off the skin, and then, because we all get a lot of practice at chopping onions, don't we? And they're just one thing that I would probably use almost daily. I would have onion in something. We've been having Soup City at our house. I think over the weekend I cooked about 4 different soups with all our lovely fresh vegetables. So we had a gorgeous Jap pumpkin soup. We had watercress and potato because our watercress has just started to grow in our shade house again, which is very exciting. I'm just going to take this out. Very exciting. Am I going to take it out? Am I going to go all out, pick it up and just chuck it all into here? It just takes too long sometimes to use tongs, doesn't it? But this can be a bit dangerous, so we'll see how we go. That's right. Only one bit. Missed the pan. So I'm just going to pop that over there. Okay, let's get the onion in and on because I think I got about a tablespoon and a half in each frying. So a tablespoon and a half of olive oil for the halloumi, tablespoon and a half of olive oil for the onion. And as I said, this is sort of a veggie in here, so I wouldn't cut it too finely. I like a little bit of texture in here. And so Lisa has served this up to us when we go camping down to Lake Tauranga. We go camping with Lisa and Mike, and Lisa cooked this down at the one of the last times that we went camping together, and it was really, really yum. Now I think this is going to need, there's the extra half a tablespoon of olive oil in there. And we'll get these onions slightly colouring, and we want to get those nice and soft as well. So they will take a few minutes. Just going to keep my eye on them because obviously we want to cook them fairly quickly because you're watching and I don't want you to get bored. I'll do the other bits and pieces, but we don't want it to burn. So I have a large knob of ginger here, and using a teaspoon and just popping my thumb on the base of the ginger, I find this is the easiest way to peel ginger because you don't peel off a huge amount of the skin. And if you've got any little knobbly bits that you want to get all the skin off, you certainly can do that with a teaspoon. It's much, much easier than doing it with a knife. So I'll just throw away that skin. If the ginger's super fresh, not at this time of year, I don't think. Mind you, that's not too bad, is it? You can leave the skin on. There's no problem with it at all. But when the skin does look dry like this, I would certainly take this off. So I think Lisa's had a little less ginger than mine, but I love ginger. So I'm going to put in about a tablespoon-ish of grated fresh ginger into here. And this is where this is so great. All of these, curry recipes like this, if you know what each individual ingredient does in the curry, then you can alter it to your taste. So ginger sometimes, well, ginger can give heat as well. So ginger is one of those things, if you want a little bit of a hotter curry, you can put a bit more ginger in it. Not too much though, because otherwise it will just be a curry of ginger. So heat in curry, you can get it from 2 or 3 things. One is pepper. Quite often pepper will be used in a curry to add heat. White pepper is a really clean heat, and usually used with lighter type of meat. And a black pepper is much more organic and earthy, so can be used with stronger flavors when you're cooking a curry. So that's just a little rule of thumb. So I've got a clove of garlic here, a large clove of garlic, so I'm going to cut it in half and just say it's 2 cloves of garlic. Popping it through our Dream Farm garlic crusher, another thing that I love. No wonder I love cooking so much. I'm very lucky. I've got all these fantastic... Oh! That were really far. Shame that wasn't like it's gone right over there. So I love this because it's virtually cleaned itself. So let's go back and have a look at our... So this is the, is it called the Holy Trinity? To start a curry off, a wet marsala is onions and garlic and ginger, and this is these are the 3 flavors that make a beautiful curry base to start off with. So if you're ever making up your own curry, we're ready. If you're ever making up your own curry, then you definitely know that you need to start with these 3. Now I didn't put the ginger and the garlic in to start with because that was fairly high. The pan was fairly high, and I don't want to burn the ginger and garlic before the onions are cooked. But I can see now those onions are starting to go translucent, so you can see through them. Oh, this was my little ginger grater as well. Love these. We've got these for sale at Matters of Taste. They're handmade in Melbourne by a clever potter, and you can see that there's little ridges that run around the inside of the ginger scraper, and you just have to run your ginger along it to grate it. Very, very gorgeous little thing. Okay. So I know. The cameraman said to me the other day, you say so quite a lot on the video, and I think it's just me just trying to sort of get my thoughts together because they race all the time. I have in front of me here the 3 spices that we are using in this curry today. I'm using turmeric or turmeric. Doesn't really matter how you say it. Turmeric. This is a Madras turmeric or turmeric. You can also find Aleppi turmeric, but that one is mainly used for Asian cooking, whereas the Madras is more for Indian style cooking. They are definitely interchangeable. It's such a very slight difference in flavor, but that's the traditional use. So it's the most gorgeous flavor, isn't it? Absolutely love it. So you can buy this fresh, and if you do use it fresh, this is I think a teaspoon of turmeric, but if you do want to add it fresh to your curry, then you can very finely chop it or grate it if it's fresh, and then you need about twice the amount. So you need 2 teaspoons of grated or finely chopped turmeric instead of 1, and this adds a beautiful color but also a lovely flavor. It's quite sort of earthy. The other earthy flavor that I've got is cumin seed. There again, doesn't really matter how you actually pronounce it. Everyone will know what you mean. Someone will probably go, you're saying it wrong. And this one is often referred to as the curry spice, so it's very earthy and pungent and absolutely fantastic. So that's your base flavors in the curry. And then we've got garam masala, and this is a blend. So masala means mix. So we've got the wet masala, which is the onions and the ginger and the garlic, and the dry masala, which is made up with the spice. So garam masala has got fennel, cinnamon, caraway, pepper, cloves and cardamom. So if you can imagine the smells in your brain of all of those, it's much more top note type of spice flavors in there. So with the garam masala and the cumin together, absolutely gorgeous. Turmeric with a little bit of added color and pizzazz. And I've just got a little pinch of chili flakes in here. You can use cayenne. I think Lisa's original recipe used cayenne pepper, but I have going to turn my oven down. I have, sorry about this everyone, very important though, I have chili flakes rather than cayenne in my kitchen. So it's up to you what you want to put in. Don't, you know, a pinch of cayenne will give you just a little bit of heat. And see how dry we are. Now I was sort of think, gosh, a tablespoon and a half's a lot, but you might want to do a tablespoon for the halloumi and then 2 tablespoons of olive oil for the onions. So you don't want the spice to burn in this pan by not having, you know, the frying sort of aspect to it. So I can see that this is much better now just by just drizzling a little bit more of the olive oil in there. Now, of course, saag is the green leaf. So saag actually means any type of green leaf. If you see, I'm just trying to think what the other name is now. If you see a saag, paneer and palak. Palak is spinach and saag is any green leaf. So I sort of left it as the name as saag because what I wanted to do, sorry, it just makes it quicker doing what I wanted to do is to just let you know that you don't have to just use spinach. It's quite a lot of spinach. It's 400 grams of spinach. I reckon this possibly would serve 6 people if you were serving it with other things. I'm just serving it with rice, just keeping it simple. But if you were to serve it with another dish, maybe a meat dish, then this would definitely serve 6 people. But if you're a kale lover, I don't know how, I'm sure someone's got to love kale. I really like kale. There's nothing wrong with kale. I've been doing a lot of cooking with kale recently. And if you're a lover of kale, you can certainly rip up some kale and add it to the spinach if you want to, or silver beet. No, just whatever greens you've got. And what did I make the other week? That I actually added the tops off the beetroot leaves as well. So, you know, everyone's talking about not wasting things at the moment, and it's a very, very good habit to get into. And so, yeah, the tops of beetroot leaves went really well. I think I used them in my vegetarian lasagna that's coming up in a few weeks' time. I just looked in the fridge and sort of thought, oh, what have I got in there and what'll look pretty, and let's make a vegetarian lasagna. And that's what I did, and it was really delish. So I thought, we'll pop that on the Cooks Collective. So let's put some pepper on this is the first time I'm seasoning actually. I should have seasoned the onions a little bit at the beginning. But let's get some salt and some pepper on the spinach leaves as we go along. So I quite like this because it's all in one pan. Well, I quite like it. You can tell I absolutely love this. It's all in one pan. I think it's very easy to cook. I think Lisa's recipe had to pop the spinach into boiling water for a minute or so, but I just did it like this. So I hope that's all right, Lise. I hope you'll forgive me for that slight change. In goes a tin of crushed tomatoes and a tin of coconut milk as well. So I managed to get to the Asian supermarket this week and pick up a tin of our very favourite Chef's Choice coconut milk, which is a very important ingredient for me to have in my pantry at all times. And as I haven't sort of been going out that much, like all of us, I haven't really got the haven't really been able to get this. So this is the chef's choice coconut milk. I might pop it down there and then you can see the actual label there. So not available in the supermarkets, but available from Asian supermarkets, and they're about $2.45 a tin, and very, very good coconut milk. So we're nearly done. I don't know what the time is, but we're very close to being done. This is very quick to make. So I've made this here. I've just got to clear that up because I can't bear that. I've literally made this exactly how I would make it at home, really. And the saag, so the palak, if we were to call it the right thing, the spinach usually is blitzed up in this side dish, and there is not coconut cream and there is not tomato in it. So this is where Lisa's put together, I think she said three recipes, put 3 recipes together to create this more as a vegetarian main meal, which just I think works very, very well. So I'm just going to wipe my bench down. We're going to pop the halloumi back in there. The rice has been sitting very, very well behaved, and I'm just going to pinch off a few leaves off my coriander that I've got there. Don't have to put coriander on if you don't want to, but I love the taste of coriander in this. Let's pop that there. I'm going to give this a little bit of a stir around. So this needs to come up to a simmer, of course. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. And hey, if you didn't want halloumi in this and you fancied something else, you could actually just pop some strips of chicken breast, raw strips of chicken breast, like stir fry pieces, that sort of thing, into here now. Cook the chicken within the coconut milk. It'll take 5 minutes, if that, and you've got a beautiful creamy coconut chicken curry. Easy, really, really easy. So I think this makes such a gorgeous curry base. So I've only put that pinch of chili flakes in there. So if you're a chili lover, you can definitely, I would go for some green chilies. The cameraman is laughing about something, like laughing his socks off. So I don't know who said what, but it's obviously something about me, and I'm getting a bit upset about it now. What are you saying? What are they laughing about?
They're not. It's me.
You're laughing because I've said so.
Yeah.
Oh,
many
God.
times.
Many times. Still. Sorry, everyone, about my sows. Very sorry, everyone, about my sows. Actually, this is quite warm now, this pan. I'll just serve that up in there, I think. So, I know, but yeah. I'm going to stir this into here. Oh, my goodness gracious. So, yes, you can see 4 to 6 people.
Yum.
I know. Let's go home and have dinner now, Anthony. Shall we? Be delish. Here's the rice all cooked. Can you see how this is a frying pan? Shh, it's really good. So really, really cooked rice, beautiful, ready to go.
Everybody's saying that I shouldn't get any curry because I've been rude to you.
Oh, thanks, girls. I know we can gang up on him, but careful, because next time he sees you, he might be a bit sulky, like, upset. In goes the rice. I'm not going to serve the whole thing up in this bowl because that would be silly, wouldn't it? I'm just doing it so that it looks beautiful. I'd actually like to serve it in that. That looks awesome. Mr. and Mrs. Solid Technics was watching. That would be brilliant. Actually, it's Mr. Solid Technics, Mark Henry. If you don't want coriander on top of your curry, don't put it on there. I wouldn't put parsley on there. It's just not right, is it? just don't think so. Look, you can serve this with a lovely spicy chutney of your choice. A tomatoey chutney would go well. A really spicy tamarind chutney would go well with this as well. Or some of Jan's tomato kasundi, that would go. That's what I'm going to have when I get home, Jan, is your tomato kasundi with this curry. Have I said so in the past 5 minutes?
No, I'm just looking at the comments. They're hopping right into me about all this.
They're being very loyal. The girls are being very loyal to me. Now, when you go to serve this up, you could use the spoon that you were using before, but if you've got one of these big Dream Farm spoons, these can go in the wash, because it's not even worth trying to serve this up with a smaller spoon than this. And then I'll show you. I haven't actually tried it, have I? Let's try it. Duh. I'm getting a little bit put off by the giggling, obviously. So, oh, that's really nice. There is definitely room for some salt. Just remember, when I'm putting these salt flakes in, they're salt flakes. They're not granular salt, so it's not nearly as much salt as if I'd put that much in of granular salt. Okay, so if there's any salt police out there, don't you worry about it. We're fine. A little bit more salt. So this will, I'll do the other end. This will, yes. This will brighten it up like that. And you'll go, ooh, that's better. Like that. So if you taste it and you go, oh yeah, that's nice, but might be a bit better. I always tell people as well, I think if you're a bit concerned about whether you should add some more salt or pepper, take a little bit out of the saucepan and pop it into a little bowl and just put a tiny bit of salt or pepper in it and taste it, and then you will certainly know. Oh, that's quite pretty, isn't it? Look, do that. Like that. And then you will certainly know if I completely covered everything up with coriander. Sorry. And then you will know whether it tastes better. So just take a little bit out. Don't just chuck a whole heap of stuff in there and then go, oh no, it's too salty now, because that's really hard to undo. So there we go. That's done in 20, 35 minutes with talking. So I reckon cooking this at home, you're probably only looking at 20, 25 minutes. It can definitely be done in under half an hour, especially if you use the little baby spinach already pre-sorted and washed and everything like I have done. So, thank you, Lisa. Oh, but that was a definite so. Thank you, Lisa, for your recipe. I'm sure lots of people will cook this. I really look forward to lots of pictures of this on our Cooks Collective private page, our private Facebook page. And we have a comment or a question?
No, all the ladies are going to cook it. They've all said that.
I know, yeah. I know. It's cool, isn't it? How good is this? And next week, I can't remember what we're doing next week. We've got so much coming up.
Banana bread?
In June? I don't think so. We've got coffee banana bread with a white chocolate frosting. We've got a hipster's tray bake, which I'm slightly making different to the last hipster's tray bake that I put up. So it's all in one. I'm going to do it actually in this pan and then chuck it in the oven. And that's beautiful. I'm doing it with smoky paprika this time. And chicken and smoky paprika and lots of veggies all in the oven at the same time. And I'm also doing my vegetarian lasagna as well. I think that one should be on in June. And then I think so it's one of those three coming up next week. And hopefully you can join me again at 2:00. You can find the recipe for this beautiful curry on the Cooks Collective. So we welcome new members. We've had lots and lots of new members actually during the last couple of months. So lots of people have been cooking more at home, which is fantastic. So lots of people will be watching this after we've gone live. They've got something else on Wednesdays at 2:00, obviously. But thank you so much for joining me yet again. And for those of you picking up a fruit and veggie box from me, I will look forward to seeing you on Friday and see the rest of you next Wednesday with a surprise dish, which you'll learn about, no doubt, through social media between now and then. Thanks so much for watching, and enjoy this beautiful saag paneer.